The Miami Hurricanes put a valiant effort up against the number 3 Florida State Seminoles, but came up short 30-26 on Saturday night, prime time. The Canes dominated the first half. Freshman quarterback Brad Kaya outthrew former Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston 240 to 120 yards in the first half. At the break, the Canes were up 23-10. However, after that, FSU kind of took over the game. After the break, Brad Kaya threw for less than 100 yards. FSU's defense came out more aggressive, he said. Philip Dorsett pointed out that they started double teaming him. Dorsett had a decent day, especially the first half. He had that first touchdown and kept the Florida State defense on their toes, but it wasn't enough. The last drive of the game, the Hurricanes had 3 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. Florida State had just scored. It was their first lead of the game. Miami needed a touchdown to win. So Kaya struggled with his time management a little bit. The Hurricanes just had a hard time getting down the field, garnering some of that momentum they had from earlier in the game. So on 4th and 9, Kaya knew he had to throw it downfield. He knew he couldn't throw it away. He threw the ball to Dorsett in triple coverage, and it was picked off by Jalen Ramsey. Essentially, what are you supposed to do in that situation? But Kaya made his decision, and that was the game. Kaya's final stat line was 16 of 34 for 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that 1 interception. Duke Johnson had another 100-yard game. He finished with 27 carries for 130 yards, and this game he eclipsed the 5,000 all-purpose yards mark. He's the first Hurricane to do that. Now, Nebraska lost on Saturday. Duke could have been in better contention for the Heisman Trophy, especially if Miami had upset Florida State. Duke still has those Heisman numbers. He's still a Heisman-worthy back, but this impact win really would have kind of made that statement for him. On the defense, Denzel Perryman led the defense with 9 tackles. There were 3 other Hurricanes that had 5 tackles. That was Jermaine Grace, Ntambu Fentress, and Raphael Kirby. Jermaine Grace also had a sack, and Raphael Kirby forced a fumble. Deion Bush had a pretty solid game. He's the one who recovered that fumble, and he also had an interception in the first half. Again, the first half was just really solid for Miami all around, and then Florida State, like they do, just came out and dominated the third quarter. There were definitely some plays that the defense left out on the field, especially Dalvin Cook had a 44-yard touchdown in the second quarter. It almost looked like he had butter on him. The Hurricanes just couldn't catch him. He was really fast, and due credit to Dalvin Cook there. He's doing some solid things up in Tallahassee. What is a Miami-Florida State game without a wide left field goal? Unfortunately for the Hurricanes, it was Michael Badgley, who missed a 29-yarder in the second quarter. He also missed an extra point, and at the end of the game, the deficit was 4 points. So you never want to blame just one player, but this was one of the many things that the Hurricanes left on the field. There were a lot of just different things that they did leave on the field. Braxton Berrios dropped a pass in the end zone. Stacy Coley and Kaya failed to connect. Kaya overthrew Stacy Coley 2 times that were really noticeable. And, you know, the Florida State is the number 3 team in the country for a reason. Jameis Winston won the Heisman Trophy last year for a reason. He's not really putting up the same numbers this year, but you know, yes, Miami could have won this game, but they didn't, and it is what it is. There was mixed player reactions. Coach Golden was probably the most disappointed. Clive Walford was very disappointed. But other players, Philip Dorsett was happy with the way that they played. They gave their effort. Raphael Kirby especially was like, hey, those of us who are coming back next year, we've got next year. Brad Kaya is a true freshman. I know the team doesn't treat him as a freshman, doesn't like calling him that, but he is. Jim Kelly didn't have to play the Seminoles his freshman year. And, you know, it's very it's very rare for a freshman to be in this position. So I think it's okay to sometimes say, hey, he has a bright future. He's a freshman. Let's do this. So overall, Hurricanes back on track. You know, it's the next game. They face Virginia at Virginia. It's a 7 p.m. game. So get your jackets ready, bundle up, and we'll see you next week. All right, thanks, guys.